Welcome back to Simple Abound. I'm going to give a quick tour of my homemade camper. It pops up a little over 2 feet. I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the outside here. Originally, I had just a regular 3-foot, one of those black 3-foot tongue boxes on the front, and it wasn't quite tall enough. So I made my own here. It's just, I think it's 1/4 inch plywood and poor man's fiberglass. Doesn't look too bad. And then here's another thing I added. Originally I didn't have a window on the front here, but I added this window on the front. It's a emergency escape window. And obviously when you're going down the road, this is about all the window. There's only about 4 inches of window showing, because the rest of it is behind the tongue box when it's going down the road. And I got a couple of running lights. There's one, and then here's another one. On the I just got just a tractor toolbox with a tail light. It's got the light for the license plate. It's got reverse, and then I had the trailer made, and I originally didn't have trailer brakes, but before I went to South Dakota in the Badlands, I added trailer brakes, so it's got trailer brakes on now. And then I also added Herculiner. This Herculiner has been on for roughly 2,000 miles. There's no chips in it. And then I also put it up here on the tongue and around here and here. Oh, we still got some Badlands mud there. I went down a awesome gravel road in the Badlands, and the whole front was covered with mud. And then here on the back, here's the 2 doors. My daughter's made some lovely artwork there. And then so here's the bottom door. There's one. Then here's the top door. There's a magnet here, so it catches, so you don't have to keep locking it every time. When you're in the camp, it'll just lock itself. And then inside here, so obviously when it's lowered, this piece right here is on this. Same thing with here. This goes down to here. Then I've got these 3x3s, there's 6 of them. So there's 2 there that they get locked in with hasps. So here's the other 2, and then there's 2 on the back. There's one, and then there's the other. I raised it up another 3 inches, and when I did that, I'd actually cut this piece off, because when the 2 pieces fold down here in the middle, they're too long, so I had to do that so they fit in the middle. And then here's a couple pipes. So this one on the left here has all the 12-volt controls that go to the light and the fan. Then there's one that goes to the outside light right there. That's just a license plate light. It's just enough to give enough light outside so you can see. And then the other pipe here is for the input side coming down for the solar wires. That goes down into here. And then I made this cover here with some holes in, just to give some ventilation, and then kind of see down. Can't really see down in there. Here, let me move this. I don't have a battery in here right now because it's winter. But there's the underside, so everything gets ventilated. And then here's the disconnect for the solar wires coming in. Then this opens up, and then here's the charge controller, and then I got a spot for all the positives and all the negatives. And I've got I'm not sure what they call this piece right here for the battery. It's one of those cheap Amazon things to tell you how much battery you have left. And then down here is the the disconnect for the battery. Then I have a disconnect for the solar charge controller coming in to the feed side here, and then I've got a disconnect for the fuse box for the 12 volt DC. And that's pretty much everything underneath there. Everything's all fused. I've got a 1200 watt inverter, 100 amp fuse, and then I've got a 150 amp fuse going to the battery. Everything's all fused, and then yeah, I think that's all the fuses under there. And then down in here I've got switches for everything, and then yeah, and then most of this other stuff here I don't use. And then I added this right here because the one I've got, I got this off of Amazon. This one right here, the 12 volt controller here, wouldn't actually, I use it to power the fridge. It wouldn't actually stay in there. It would keep popping out. So I actually just added this other one to control my 12 volt fridge. And then I also have a 120 volt panel for the RV. Is a 30 amp, and then I have two 20s. I have two GFIs right here. That comes in handy in the winter when you're running heat. Electric heat in here. I haven't managed to burn the place down yet. And yeah, I just have another really small cabinet over here. We put the food here in a tub, and then I just have a couple other tubs here and the dish pans and stuff in there. And I also have a couple windows here. And then we've got one of those Millard, wherever you say it, trifold mattresses that I've got some slats here. You can actually sit something down here and sit here. I used to have a table in here. I used to have a different bench set up in here when I first built it. I used to have a table and a benches on both sides, and we never used them. So I changed it to this setup. So right now I have a 12 volt fridge that actually fits underneath here. And then there's obviously another slat here. Obviously this is the piece right here that hoists it up. It clamps up into here. There's a little indentation right here. So if you take a look at this, these two pieces actually slide up to the top, and I clamp it in there so it's not really going anywhere when you're lowering it. But yeah, so then I can fold these out, and you can kind of still sit here when you're in here, and there's really no use for a table. You kind of fold this back, and you can actually fold this up to actually, sit on it. And then here's the last one. So it all folds out like that, and you just put the bed out. And then I made these handy, these are blackout shades I made. I just used some 1/2-inch PVC, and then I had an old tool pouch from work that you can see in one of my other videos. I made some leather hangers to hold this up in there. And then there's, one on the other side, and then I've got one for the front there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much on the inside. There's really not much to look at. And, I got my max fan with the 10 speeds. Yeah, there's really not a lot in here. It's pretty simple. Here, this is where you can tell how much I raised it. When I first did it, this was actually the original roof line, but then I after a while it wasn't quite tall enough, because we actually use our Scamp now when we have all four of us with. But I have it, I'll show a picture of it. I have bunks that go in here on the sides. I'll show that, and I actually raised it up that much so we could get one more year out of it. And then up here You can see I have these Velcro straps. This is where the kids sleep. So I had some padding put up here because they kept hitting their head, which was convenient, I guess. Not really. But yeah, I put that up in here so they wouldn't hit their head. And then there's 4 lights in here. Right now I just have the treble light on it there because, you know, I don't have a battery in here because it's winter. No reason to have the battery sitting in here. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the inside. And I'll take you one more trip to the outside, and then at the end I'll show you some pictures of the build because I started in September 2020 and I didn't film anything. So here's a better look of the door. This just swings open. I don't know if you can see this. I had to modify this thing because when it's in travel mode, this piece right here actually hits, I bet you can tell, right there. And then you can see where the rest of this hits. I haven't really figured out a way to stop that. And you can also see this. I really don't mind that line there. It doesn't really bother me. And here's the other door that swings open so you can get in. And then just have a simple, as like a $10-15 step stool to get in. Then I glued this piece of indoor outdoor carpet here so you don't, because otherwise it'll slide underneath the thing. So that way you can just kick it up to the side of the camper. So yeah, there's a couple more things. So you really can't see it. Up on top, I've got them covered right now. I've got 3 100 amp Renogy solar panels. I don't know if you can see this line right here. You can probably see it. You know, it's not really noticeable, but there it is. I didn't do a very good job. If I would do this again, I'd probably do a little better job. I was kind of in a hurry because winter was approaching. But yeah, so then I have a 30 amp plug right there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.